I sat in the dark theater during the film festival and watched as the lead producer took a bow for the visual effects that I had spent 14 months creating in my basement office. My name didn't appear in the rolling credits at the end of the movie, and as the audience stood up to give a standing ovation, I felt a hollow, aching void in the center of my chest. I had worked for this man, a guy named Julian, on a freelance contract that he had promised to finalize once the funding came through. Instead, he had taken my final renders, blocked my number, and was now standing on a stage accepting an award for work he didn't even know how to open on a computer. Julian was a silver-tongued operator who knew exactly how to make young artists feel like they were part of something historic. He had told me that this film would be my big break, the one that would put my name on the map and get me into the major studios. I had sacrificed my sleep, my social life, and my health to meet his impossible deadlines, believing that the prestige of the project was worth the lack of a steady paycheck. Seeing him now, soaking up the praise and pretending to discuss the technical challenges of the lighting, I realized that I had been nothing more than a ghostwriter for his ambition. He was a thief in a tuxedo, and I was just another casualty of his ego. I waited until the Q&A session began, and the microphone was passed to the audience for questions about the production. I stood up in the third row, my heart thumping like a drum against my ribs, and I didn't wait for the moderator to call on me. Julian, I'm curious about the specific rendering engine used for the third act. Since that was my original work you never paid for or credited, I said, my voice projecting through the silent room with a clarity that surprised even me. Julian's face went from a triumphant glow to a ghostly, terrified white as he recognized me standing there in the dim light of the theater. He tried to say that I was a disgruntled former intern and that the legal team would handle my complaints, but I wasn't done yet. I pulled my phone out and connected it to the theater's Bluetooth speakers, playing a recording of the final meeting where he had promised me the lead credit in exchange for the extra hours I put in. I showed the audience the raw project files on my screen, the ones with my metadata and my digital signature on every single frame. The room went from a celebration to a trial in a matter of seconds, and the festival director stepped onto the stage to take the microphone away from Julian while he was still trying to stumble through an explanation. The aftermath was a whirlwind of legal filings and public statements as the festival stripped the film of its awards and the news spread through the industry. I didn't get my 14 months back, and I didn't get the big break I was promised, but I got the one thing Julian could never buy. The truth. I ended up getting hired by a rival studio that appreciated my work and my backbone, and they made sure that my name was the first one on the list for our next project. Julian became a pariah in the indie film scene, and he eventually disappeared into a series of failed ventures that no one would fund. I learned that in a creative industry, your name is your only true currency, and you have to be willing to fight for it even when it feels like the whole world is against you. I never work without a signed contract and an upfront deposit anymore, and I've become an advocate for other freelance artists who are being exploited by people like Julian. My career is finally on the path I always wanted, but I'll never forget the feeling of sitting in that theater and realizing that my silence was the only